The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18 plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi. Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Anyway, Gattaca, this is in 1997. This was this American dystopian science fiction film. And everybody, remember, science fiction is based upon your worst dreams. And it starred Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, Jude Law. And listen to this group, supporting actors, Ernest Borgnine, Gore Vidal, and Alan Arkin. And it dealt with this genetic discrimination, kind of this dystopian picking children out ahead of time. Now, before we preface this, I always believe that fundamental to most, I can't speak for other religions, but I'm familiar with certain Christian, tenets, and a lot of them, whether you're the Christian or not, makes a lot of sense. In addition to, I mentioned this before, there was this commercial in the 1970s for chiffon margarine. And they give Mother Nature this, she goes, "Oh, that's wonderful butter." He goes, "No, that's margarine." And she gets very upset. She says, "It's not nice to fool Mother Nature," and then moves her hand and causes a tsunami or whatever. Now, people now, listen to this, are paying upwards of $50,000 easy to genetically screen embryos for traits tied to IQ and height and disease risk and even projected lifespan. And what sounded like, again, we keep using that word perhaps too much, this dystopian, this Orwellian, this dystopian, science fiction 20, 30 years ago, is quietly becoming normalized reality. Companies right now are involved in embryo screening during IVF, and they say the process is about, quote, health optimization. Remember, in order to do something terrible, come up with a euphemism for it. And it's helping parents make informed choices. But history teaches us that once society begins ranking desirable human traits, the line between medicine and eugenics becomes, well, rather thin. So if you've ever watched Gattaca, you understand where this road potentially leads. In that world, children were no longer valued as human beings. First, they became genetic profiles. It was their data. And they were ranked according to predicted intelligence and strength and longevity and usefulness. So the process works like this. Eggs are fertilized through IVF. Multiple embryos are created. Cells are then removed and analyzed. Parents receive predictive scores, and one embryo is selected for implantation. Now, today it's marketed as disease prevention. But is it? Tomorrow, it becomes trait selection. Then social pressure follows. Then parents who refuse enhancement may eventually be accused of disadvantaging their children before birth. So the real issue is not technology alone. Oh, nay. It's the mindset. This dangerous mindset that is emerging behind it. The belief that human life should be engineered and optimized and curated like software code, like an AI, like some kind of a codex program. And history, if I must remind you, repeatedly warns what happens when societies start dividing humanity into better, less desirable categories. And once human worth becomes, in essence, statistical then compassion goes out the door because you want to remove yourself from the idea, this isn't a human, this is data. These are chromosomes. This is what happens in the whole abortion debate. It's not born yet. It's an unborn. It's just a blastocyst. It's an embryo. It's a fetus. It's not real. It is real, and it is a human. It's not a duck. And science, without ethical restraint, never stays unlimited for long. Let me give you an example. And this is what's going to happen right now as we speak. Eventually, and by the way, listen to what Peter Thiel is saying, and listen to what these ghouls in Silicon Valley are saying. Let's assume that Juan and Pedrita Calderon from Mexico decide to have a baby. And Juan is the biggest member of his family. He comes in at 5'5", black hair, prototypical Mexican affect, physiognomy, phenotype, Mexican, looks like a Mexican, has all of the traits of generation and thousands and thousands and thousands of years and generations of okay. Well, Pedrito decides, or Juan, what I forgot his name, he says, I've always learned that children who are taller, tend to do better in life. So we have this thing through CRISPR and different genetic manipulation. I want you to fix it, not just pick the best embryo, but I want you to fix it. I want you to redo the code. Go in and run a code to find out what my particular genome is. And I want you to add through either viral, you actually use a little virus to go in there to kind of change things. But I want to have a 6-foot tall child because I think they're going to be better. Okay, good. Now, even though there's been nobody in my family who's 6 foot tall, nobody. Next, I think sometimes hypothetically, these Mexican traits really are kind of disadvantageous. So you know what I want? I want him to look more like the Max von Sydow depiction of Christ. Christ was Samaritan and probably looked very Semitic, as everybody else did. But if you watch TV, or if you ever looked at the Renaissance arts, he looks like a Swede. So let's say the Calderon family decides to have this little Juancito who's 6 foot tall with blonde hair and blue eyes. Doesn't look anything. Now, he's their child, but he's been fixed. He's been changed. Can you see where this goes anymore?